What's going on? How you guys doing? TK coming at you. I just saw a post. It was featuring Sean Combs, and it was talking about how the black community needs to focus more on financial empowerment. And his conversation was directed more towards entrepreneurship and us taking responsibility for our own community. You know, he pointed financial empowerment being a direct result of entrepreneurship. And he said, you know, we're responsible for each other. You know, we must have unity. We must change our focus and do something about our situation. And, you know, I find that interesting because, in a sense, to me, it's hypocritical. You know, there are not very many black, successful, what you would consider to be entrepreneurs that are doing empowerment within the community. Now, to me, empowerment means teaching people how to fish. Because when you give someone a fish, they're just going to eat for a day and then come back and ask for another fish. So at some point, empowerment must involve changing people's mindset to that of abundance, actually focusing on actions that produce results. One of the things he said is that the conversation must transform to actions and results. So in order to do that, you have to go in the community and attack people's mindset. You have to attack people's thinking and get them to the point where they believe it's possible, where they believe that it can and that I am. So if you don't instill I can and I am in the mindset of the people, then nothing's ever going to change. Financial empowerment is an individual choice based on your actions, your decisions, and your results. So financial empowerment in our communities must begin with people being exposed to strategic tactics that allow, create, produce change. And you don't see that amongst these super wealthy entertainers. The people who have made it out of poverty are not coming back to the community to develop, to encourage, to empower, and to uplift. We don't see that. And if you're going to teach people how to fish, you have to give them financial strategies that allow empowerment or that create a different future. Because the mindset is what creates any type of situation. If you don't have the mindset of abundance, you're never going to have abundance. You have to accept that for yourself before you can begin to create that in the physical manifestation. Your mindset is the first step towards creating change. And then you choosing to implement actions that produce results is what, if you're consistent, is going to produce a different life, a different future. So I don't see a lot of black super rich people who come back to the community to empower people and change their mindset. I don't see a lot of people reaching out with anything other than conversation. So the conversation never evolves into actions that produce results. We're not giving our young people something to strive for. We're not teaching our young people what it takes to be successful in the 21st century. Now, a lot of people will say that, well, paper and more paper is what it takes to be successful. And I've said that 1,000 times, that having a lot of paper is not what it takes to be successful economically. If you want to create success, you have to focus on accumulating assets, building a net worth. And for the average person, for the average poor person, what does that mean? That means that you're going to build strategically over time. You're going to be consistent in your efforts, and you're going to slowly convert paper money into higher forms of currency. So that means that you have to take the time to convert gold, to convert to silver, and to make Bitcoin a part of your saving strategy. Because if you're saving in paper, you're losing to inflation and taxation. So at some point, people have to get to a mindset where they feel like, I'm going to focus on assets. I'm going to, over time, build what assets I have. I'm going to acquire gold and silver. I'm going to save money or save currency in Bitcoin. But that's not being taught. That's not what people are being exposed to. The only concept of financial empowerment is having more paper. Well, the super rich people who make, the rappers and the fucking people on TV, they make more money than the average person, but they don't spend any of their money on assets. They're not empowering the community. They're not showing people how to get involved in microeconomics. Because that's what it takes. It takes microeconomics in order to empower a community. A grassroots level microeconomic empowerment system where you actually show people and expose people to investment strategies that allow them to accumulate assets over time. So you encourage entrepreneurship through sound ideas, and then you give them the groundwork and the foundational work so that they can actually turn their ideas into a viable business. Now, the traditional banking system always have exclusionary tactics where you don't qualify. But you could eliminate those exclusionary requirements by empowering people through Bitcoin. If you have a lot of paper currency, you can convert that paper currency to Bitcoin and then use Bitcoin as a micro loan empowerment strategy so that people with strong ideas now have funding. That could be something that empowers a community and stimulates the movement of currency, which then will stimulate the economy in which that currency is moving. So people aren't doing things like that. People are focused on self, and the stuff that they talk about doesn't produce any results. You have to get to the point where you're doing something that means something and that creates some real powerful change. We have to attack the mindset of the everyday individual and get the individual to understand that it takes you doing something today that produces better results tomorrow. It takes you buying gold, buying silver, actually buying Bitcoin, saving in Bitcoin. You should get to the point where every single year you save $10,000, not in cash, but in Bitcoin. Because the valuation of that savings is going to go up much higher than what you could get in a traditional bank. Not to mention, it allows you to become your own bank, own, manage, and control your assets, and have the ability to make any type of decision you want within a worldwide economic distribution system. So I challenge people to change your mindset. I challenge people to actually do things that matter and start to create some a financial empowerment based on assets, based on tangibles, based on accumulating things that go up, that appreciate the longer you hold them. Paper is not one of those things. It's a devaluing liability that basically is counterproductive, and you lose purchase power the longer you hold paper.